You're listening to the Ad Junkie Podcast. Here we talk about all kinds of ads from past to present. Everyone knows if an ad sucks or not just by watching it. But the Ad Junkies will tell you why it sucks and why it's great. It's not rocket science, it's advertising. Today's episode will be comparing an ancient Budweiser ad from 1956 to the newest ad that came out this year. Will the old one hold up? I'm Ben, and these are our hosts.
I'm Savannah.
And I'm Mason.
So today we're going to be reviewing the two Budweiser ads. We chose this brand just because they have been around for so long. The name is so well known. The brand is so well known. They always have a commercial out, whether it be just in general on general TV, or they're always popular during the Super Bowl. So that's why we decided to go with these two. The first one we're reviewing is from 1956. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that one and then just tell y'all what we think.
It's the oldest Budweiser commercial we could find. There's, of course, older ones in print, but this is as far back as it goes visually.
All right, let's take a look.
All right, so we're going to play it. So first thing, obviously, it's in black and white. Someone's playing a flute. They're on the beach.
You see a very pretty woman sitting there. I'd say very of her time, very 1950s. Waves coming in and out.
Still no beer anywhere to be seen. Oh, there we go. The old steel can.
Frying a barbecue up on the beach.
Yeah, there's no way this ad could have come out in 2018.
No. We don't do jingles anymore.
No, not quite.
It says
All right.
Budweiser, King of Beers, which... Do they still use that at all in their marketing? I feel like it's something I haven't seen them use at all.
I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not really sure.
I haven't seen it lately.
It's not prominent in their advertising. You're not like Budweiser, King of Beers. Because, I mean, things come to mind. You think Dos Equis, you think the Dos Equis man. I think Budweiser, I think the horse commercials.
The Clydesdales is what you think.
Clydesdales, yeah. That's kind of the more modern.
And I was saying this earlier, Budweiser, in my mind, isn't really a beach beer. I think Coronas.
Mm-hmm.
I would even go Dos Equis. I'd go a more Mexican beer for the beach. And Budweiser in its recent years in advertising, I mean, you don't ever see Budweiser chilling with a palm tree in the background.
If anything, I put it with football. That's what their prominent view is now, or they're like...
It's a blue-collar drink, you know. It's not very flamboyant. You're not going to find it at the beach. Yeah,
right. Okay, so fast forward to 2018.
So a lot has changed since 1956. America's changed, and so is advertising. A lot that goes on today, businesses want you to connect to not only a story, but to a cause. So Budweiser's kind of tapped into that. Get it? There's kind of a more connection to real people. It's maybe ironic that a beer company is trying to appeal to somewhat family values, but I think it works for them. So let's go ahead and get into this ad here.
All right.
I'm going to start it right now. So the ad starts with a phone ringing. Guy waking up, splashing water on his face, going for a drive to the Budweiser plant. Machine starting up, bunch of Budweiser cans on the assembly line, and now they're water cans. No more beer.
You're not hearing what's going on in the ad right now. There is music in the background. There's a cover of Stand By Me by Skylar Grey, making it more of a feel-good commercial. It's very family-oriented, and what this commercial is doing is for hurricane relief. What Budweiser did was they took their brand, the Budweiser brand, but they filled their cans with water instead of beer and sent it out to all the places that were in need of water.
The commercial said California, Puerto Rico, Florida,
So it was fire relief as well.
Okay,
well, anywhere that there was a natural disaster.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it's interesting that not even as far back as the 1950s, but just in the past couple years, mostly it's Budweiser selling their beer. You don't see a lot of brands doing anything besides selling their main product, but what they're doing here is completely turning it around and still using their brand, but kind of connecting that to something more important than just their beer. They're wanting to reach out to those in need and not send out beer to people that need it, but send out water they're just turning it into something more serious.
Right. I think it's important to note, when they showed in the commercial the water cans, they still had aspects of the Budweiser logo in, and they are recycling it for this commercial. So it's one of those like bittersweet feel goods. Like, yes, I feel so good, but I also know that you're showing me this directly trying to get me to buy some Budweiser. And but I mean, I'd still rather them do something like this than not.
Right.
Right. And I think it's pretty interesting to contrast this to the 1956 ad, where the 1956 ad was just telling you why Budweiser's good. It tastes so good, but this, it's not even talking about the beer at all. It could be trying to sell you anything. Really.
It shows you how advertising has changed, because the 1950s ad goes back to the very basics. It has feel-good music. It's on the beach. There's a pretty woman. There is just the typical things that pull people in to advertisement, whereas now advertising's used for completely different things. Like completely transitioned to advertising for like natural disasters, and like it's
the idea of a company and the idea of charity.
Right.
And I think it's also we want something a little more real now. It's not enough to, I mean, I just loved, you got a close-up on that old ad of his fingers playing the flute while you were hearing this cheerful flute music. What does that mean or do emotionally? Not much compared to we are looking at hurricane relief and hurricanes, fire damage relief, and it's more real, it's concrete. We can't all pretend life's a day at the beach anymore.
And they're both about the same length, just about a minute long, but in the second one, there's just so much more. In that 1 minute, they bring in the CEO. They show him waking up in that morning, it's late night. It's probably, I don't know if they showed a time. Actually, they do. It's 3:42 in the morning.
Lord.
Waking up in the middle of the night, going to the factory, getting all his men together men, women, everyone together to get this done for people that need it. So it's definitely pulling people in. That's so much more real. Like we keep saying, it's so much more real than just, hey, buy this beer, it's good.
So are we all in agreement that this is a good change in advertising? Because I asked that question, because what if they were trying to sell you a really, really bad product, but then moved it into some kind of charity to get you to buy a really bad product?
Have you had Bud Light?
Well, I think it's definitely a good change.
I think it's a good
promoting
change.
charity, and
I think it is a good change.
It's never a bad thing.
Right, and they've established such a good brand and such a good name over the past few years. Like, they have always, when the Super Bowl rolls around, Budweiser always has a commercial. They always have the Clydesdales. They always have a feel-good commercial out.
Yeah, Budweiser has become more of a brand personality than just, this is a beer you want to drink on the beach. Because, yes, that's true, but that could be any beer. Has every beer gone out and done relief like this? And where do you think Budweiser's heading in the future, advertising-wise? I mean, I don't think any of us can say.
Right.
Yeah, no idea, but it's a pretty good ad. I'm happy with it. I'm sure they are too. It played the Super Bowl, so can't complain.
Right.
All right, so thanks for listening to the Ad Junkie podcast. We're going to try and upload these podcasts every Friday, so check back here for future updates. For more information on today's advertisements, check out the links in the description below the video. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.